This right here is the Magnetic Variable ND filter system by Freewell, and it's got to be one of the craziest ND systems I've ever used. Let's get into it. Disclaimer before we get too far in this video, Freewell did send me this ND filter system for me to review. However, they're not sponsoring this video. This video does have a sponsor, however, and that is Artlist. Artlist has been my favorite place to get music for a while now, and they actually just upped their game by adding a second way to get their music. You can either go the traditional route and pay for the full year and have everything covered, no matter if you're doing corporate, you're doing freelance work, or social media, or you can do the personal subscription plan where you're just paying per month and you have everything covered like TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, MySpace. Artlist partnered with me and gave you guys an incredible deal. Make sure you click on the link in the description below to find out more about Artlist. Thank you so much, Artlist, for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to the review. Now, I'm not gonna go insanely in depth on what a variable ND filter is for, why do you use them. It's basically sunglasses for your camera. We've all heard that said. If not, are you living under a rock? But this one from Freewell really got me intrigued when they reached out, because there's been so many times I've been on a shoot and I've needed to change my ND filter, or I just want to pull it off really quick, and it kind of takes a couple more minutes than it needs to. And if you're anything like me and you're in the freelance game, sometimes those couple of minutes or even couple seconds can ruin a shot if you're not there ready and rolling. So let's talk about what comes with it if you buy this variable ND system. First things first, you're presented with a really nice protective case. It's got this like faux leather on the outside. If you pull up on the little string, it actually reveals all the ND filters laid out. So if you need just one or two of them, you can grab it. I like that because it's protecting them. It's keeping them from bumping up to each other, as well as you can see whatever you need to grab by just pulling that tab up. At the very top of that protected case, it's actually got an SD card slot, a couple of them. I don't know how often I would actually be using that because I like having my storage in a completely different case. However, if you're on the go and you need a spot to put that, putting it in that compared to just dropping that in your pocket, I think is a lot better. Then you've got the thread that attaches to your lens that is magnetic. Mine is 82 millimeters. They have a plethora of sizes if you guys would like to find out more. Of course, links in the description below. You have two pieces of glass that can go inside. They don't both go inside at the same time, but it's either a mist or just an ND stop 1. You get the variable ND to the 5, as well as you get the variable ND 6 to 9. If you flip the 2 to 5 filter around, you actually get a CPL filter, and if you flip the 6 to 9 ND filter around, you actually get an ND32 CP filter, as well as it has a magnetic lens cap that just attaches to the front. Now that we've gone over everything that comes with the kit, let's talk about how the system actually works. So you're gonna attach that base ring to your lens. If you needed a step-up ring or something like that, you would attach that to the base ring and then attach that to your lens. But mine's 82, my lenses are 82, so it just works perfectly. Then you're gonna pick one of your base glasses. You're either gonna put the ND1 if you don't want any mist, or you can put the mist right inside there if you want to have mist on top of your ND system. Then you're gonna take one of your 2 to 5 or 6 to 9 variable NDs, and you are going to line up the A to the A that's on the ring. You're gonna slap it on there and you're good to go. The main reason you wanna have those symbols lined up is so you actually know where your hard stops are at. Now, like I mentioned earlier, if you want to have a CPL filter, you're gonna flip one of those around. One of them is just a CPL, the 2 to 5 stop, and then the 6 to 9 is the ND32 CPL. So when I was outside shooting, it was a little bright for just the CPL. So I wound up putting the ND32 CPL on it, and I was able to shoot through the windshield, have no problem, and I had an ND on top of it. So that worked out really well. One thing to mention is if you have the CPL filter facing out, either one of them, the magnetic lens cap will not line up and attach to it, because you got those magnets that are, pushing against each other. Let's go over my user experience and things that I liked and didn't like about this variable ND system. I absolutely love how much you get in this kit. You're getting that 2 to 5 stop and that 6 to 9 variable ND. You're getting a mist. You're getting an ND1 stop. You're getting 2 CPL filters, one with ND and one with not, as well as that base ring that attaches to it. So if you just want to pull everything off and film indoors, you don't have to worry about taking everything off. Or if you're just wanting to use the mist, you can do that as well as you're getting a magnetic lens cap. So I wanted to see how the Freewell mist filter did, so I stacked it up head to head with my Tiffin Promist filter. I actually think the Tiffin looked a little bit better. There was a little bit more bloom. That may just be because I'm partial and I've used it for so long. 9 out of 10 times if I'm using a Promist filter of any kind, it's normally when I'm shooting freelance, specifically weddings, just to give that more beauty filter on top. Let's talk about competition out there real quick and how this Freewell stacks up to some of the competitors. So I went outside, tested these head to head. I put the Tiffin variable ND filter system, which is my trusty tried and true, had it forever. I checked it. It does, of course, have one of those weird things where if you hit too far, it's gonna have an X because this has no hard stops. You could see some vignetting in the top corners. However, if I'm in that situation, normally I would either stop my aperture down or I would try to push my ISO down to try to avoid going that far. The next filter system I wanted to test out is the Peter McKinnon variable ND filter system. Picked that one up a while ago. It is definitely on the pricier end. I do not have the mist on this one, but you can pick that up. So you have either a mist option or non-mist option. It's honestly what I would expect for a filter system at this price range. Last but not least, I tested the Freewell system. Nothing really blew me out of the water. I was getting a little bit of vignetting. I went through all the stops just like all the other ones. I do like that there is some stops that you can hit at the beginning and the end. However, for hard stops, I've definitely got to give it to PolarPro because they've got hard stops at each number you hit compared to the Freewell one is at the beginning and the end. The Tiffin one doesn't have any hard stops at all. You can just spin that thing all day long. For color cast, I put all these head to head. I shot my face, I shot the sky. You tell me in the comments below which one you think looks better. I did not change any white balance or picture profile and shot all three back to back to back. So what are my final thoughts on the magnetic variable ND system by Freewell? I think it's a solid system. I think if you've got a cheaper, low-end budget variable ND, maybe from Amazon or B&H, one of those real cheap ones, you know, like $20, $30, then I would be looking at upgrading systems down the road. Definitely check these guys out. If you've already got a really good system by Tiffin or PolarPro, I don't really know if you need to upgrade. Either way, I love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments below. You guys are amazing. I'm the Iron Giant. I'll see you next time. Peace.